Good Zampo, and welcome back to Mindful Journeys, Caring for International Students. Today is our final episode of the first season, Mindful Journey, Caring for International Students. This is our 10th episode, and Mindful Journey will be concluding with this one. And my name is Sonam Penjo, I'm the host, and I have with me in the studio Dr. Sonam Pelden, my co-host. And I would like to, before handing over to Doctor, I would like to thank our sponsors and all. This podcast is brought to you by CV Media, and it's sponsored by Bodhi 5 ECPF and powered by CV Printing. Thank you so much, and Doctor.
Thank you, Sonam. Yeah, it's been an enjoyable journey. We've had ups and downs in coming together for this conversation, but it has had a wonderful intent. So thank you for the opportunity, Sonam,
and thank you as well for agreeing to co-sponsor with. I mean, like not
co-host.
Sponsor, co-host with me. Thank you so much for that. And without Doctor on board, I think this journey wouldn't be a special one. I really like to thank you from, I it's time, the time is flying. I mean, I didn't know it's now end of, our first season.
Yes.
And it's really a big one, and I'm becoming emotional as well.
Maybe that's why our delightful guest today, our special guest today, who will be with us to conclude this session, Pema Tencho, who is going to be our 2025 Student Guild President of Edith Cowan University. I think that's why you said, I'm almost feeling emotional, and before the camera started rolling. So maybe she's picking up your energy. But
yes, I am.
Thank you, Pema, for being with us, for giving us this very valuable time of yours today. I hope that all three of us and the cameraman behind Chimmy, I hope our intent reaches out to others who would find benefits in listening to us. But before concluding the show already, may I invite you, Pema, to say a bit about, who are you, where do you come from, and how come you're here in Perth, Australia?
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm sorry if this doesn't go out as it would normally do. This is my first time, but so I'm Pema Chanso. I'm studying at Edith Cowan University, and I'm doing my second master's in project management. And I came here because I wanted to be with the Bhutanese community. I was really keen on living abroad, but with the Bhutanese community, and Perth was the perfect choice. So that's how I landed here. And I'm so glad to meet all of you, and also as much as we have other kind of stereotypes about Bhutanese community, but it's always nice to see people like yourself. And thank you so much for inviting me for the last episode. I'm honored.
Thank you, Pema, for accepting. I know you are a very busy person, but with all those study, your work, and also the added responsibility now as a president of the Guild of ECU. Before you came to Australia, I know that you have been studying in Europe. So, what is the difference between Europe and Australia?
So many. So where do I begin? First of all, people who, like most of the Bhutanese or any other students that go to Europe are mostly through scholarships, really good scholarships, and we live more like a student life there. So you are really focused on your academics. The biggest worry is like, can I do the assignments or not? We get our stipends, tuition fees also paid off. So when I was studying in Europe, the biggest worry was, where do we go next? Can we do all backpacking in all part of Europe in 30 days? But in here, most of students, like Bhutanese students, they are mainly working, and also sadly not working in their field, right? So I think that's the difference, and it's a very high stressful student life here in Perth. And I'm also one, so I totally understand, and most of us are doing this alone without a partner or family, and it's a hard journey here. I think it's a very difficult one. and there's no student life in here.
So you have lots of things to worry, you know, how you're gonna meet your end needs, and also in 6 months you have to pay your another installment of student fees. So these are all there, and then while you are studying in Europe, so you don't have to worry about that. So
I had to just worry about if I can give the best report, if I can do my research well, where can I get my next resources for research, where am I going to network. But in here, first of all, you need to worry about your tuition fees, of course, right? Then you are worrying about the accommodations, then bills. Bills. And on top of that, because you're paying bills, you are focused on doing something else, right? Because you cannot just enter your industry market easily, just like that. And then you miss out on the career opportunities. Then also you have to worry about your career and volunteering and doing a lot of things, like juggling all of it. I think it's a very, very difficult student life.
And also we have to, you know, there is a thing like as a Bhutanese student, we have a responsibility back home as well. So they expect us to earn a lot. You know, they think that we earn a lot, and then you know, we have to help everybody else. But so that is there as well. So I don't know about you, but lots of students, you know, from Bhutan, Nepal, and neighboring countries, you know, we have the same pressure, you know, from the families, friends, and family back home. So do you also go through that one?
Definitely, like of course. But just coming back to what you said, I also thought there was a lot of money here, and like a money tree that people are just, you know, plucking, because of the perception people in Australia has built, because we are trying to hide our suffering, hide what we go through, so that back home they wouldn't know that this is the situation. But what that creates is that layer of that, you know, I wouldn't say fake, but that perception that people in here get a lot of money, and but I didn't realize the situation was like this. So I also came here because I wanted to make more money. I wanted to have a brighter future, because I thought, like, okay, I'm in Europe, but like seems like they talk about money a lot, because in Europe we just talk about a career and what's going to happen next, because there's not much money. But I thought, hey, there's maybe a good opportunity to make money. And then I come here and I see that reality, right? Like it's not the same. So
There's I would say, like, there's a real and real life here, you know. Real one is one that we show it in the social medias and all. The real one is what we go through here, which we don't want to expose to, you know, our friends and family back home. Doctor, do you agree?
I'm curious. I've always been curious enough, because I can see, I came to Perth in 2007 before. So from 2007 till 10 I was here, and then I went back to Bhutan. And even when I returned for my PhD in 2012 and 2013, it's very similar to what you described in Europe. The only thing you worry about is your assignments and your results, and then your weekly shopping. You walk. I didn't even drive a car then. And suddenly this huge shift after 2015, I think. Huge shift, numbers growing, and then of course this building up of this new perception and expectations accordingly, and assumptions, you know, in Bhutan. So when I go back, I find it really shocking sometimes to hear information that I can't believe, that somebody is driving. I think one of the weirdest stories I heard was driving, what's that called, the forklift, and earning $300 an hour. I'm going, that sounds really unreal. And that some people here would actually be okay to support these stories, and I have always become curious why. Because it's not true.
That's really you know, what we are showing in the social media and what we are going through is totally different. It's you know, far apart. But then I would suggest that, you know, whoever is listening or watching this podcast, you know, just to think about it. Whatever is shown in a social media is not true. It's just a part of you know, the life that we have here. We go through lots of things.
Exactly.
So, like you said, you know, you have also you understand now, right?
I do.
What do you heard while you're in Europe, and then when you've been here, it's totally different.
Yes, exactly. just to tell everyone, there's not as much money as you think there is. And even if you get money, people are working 16 hours a day, sometimes more.
Yeah.
And lots of us, especially students, it's like the worst kind of like residency we have in here, because you pay your fees, you don't get anything in return, you're paying for your insurance that doesn't cover anything, you cannot upgrade your insurance, so if something happens to you, bye-bye. And there's so many problems, but at the same time, everyone hates like people on student visa, like not hate, but it's sort
You
of
are
like
the outsider.
yeah, it's like we don't belong anywhere, and it's a difficult life, I must say. It's a very, very difficult life.
Could you say a bit more? What kind of stories have you heard? You know, you say, speaking a bit more about these difficulties. Could you say a little bit more to it? What have you witnessed? What have you heard from people, you know?
So personally for me, the hardest part, I have heard other stories as well, but I don't know if they're true or, you know, but for me, the most difficult part was finding an accommodation. And also it was more expensive than I anticipated. And especially when you're new here, you're trying to find work, you're trying to pay your bills, everything comes all at once, and not having a network or we cannot just go to anyone and ask help for, there's no a single entity. If you go to university, I was trying to look for, is there any Bhutanese club there, or like can I ask for some kind of help, right? And so there's that, the accommodation, and also another I find is entering our field, like our industry as a professional. So that's the most difficult part, because we already built a perception to Australians or other people that we mainly do like very hard-working, back-breaking jobs, and they have that perception that Asian, not just Bhutanese, that we are not good like strategically or in critical thinking or critical analysis. So that fighting that kind of stereotype and trying to enter market, professional market was quite a journey. But other than that, personally for me, because I had the privilege of living in Europe, so when I came here, it was actually easier because it's in English. It was much easier than my journey to Europe, because I went in there as young girl, like I didn't have any idea, I never sat on a flight, everything was new. So that was more difficult journey for me in terms of other things. But in here, it's mainly the financial as well as, not having that support. If I go and ask anyone, I'm sure like everyone would be happy to help, but because I am very straightforward and I can voice out what I want and what I need, but for lots of Bhutanese, they cannot. And they're always left behind because we don't go forward and ask about it. And so I see those kind of struggles, especially trying to enter our industry, my field or my industry. And so especially financially, I've been privileged. I didn't have that much problem because I got job immediately, and I also had some savings because I was already outside. So it gave me that buffer to survive. But I'm sure, and I've heard so many stories that other Bhutanese face this kind of issues as well. So those two are my main struggle here.
And did you say you're single?
Yeah. So I've decided to do this alone to see if I can do it. And academic, because I have academic background already. I was working as a researcher, so it has helped me here, because if I have to go through that as well, because I see with other students, other international students, they have to struggle with referencing, like how do I do academic writing, because assignment is directly linked to your visa. So at least I didn't have to go through this. So because of that, it helped me focus on my other shortcomings. But I'm sure there are lots of other problems all of us are facing. Now I was just curious, because there aren't many who come
on their own who decide to take this journey on their own, and you are one of the rare ones. So I just wanted to emphasize that the journey is quite unique for those who take it on. on their
And
own.
sometimes, and also like we are not as supportive. Like, and I know that they don't mean to come out that way, but most of people comment like, "Oh, you could have just like married someone, or like come with your husband. Like, why don't you, right? Like, try to like get something and like get help." And I've always been saying that like I've already started this journey, did all the difficult part alone, so like I guess I can just move forward and finish what I started.
So I lived a very different experience when I came to do my PhD, especially in the earlier years, and even my working years. I think even now, like the question was always, "Where's your husband studying?" Straight away. In my days, 2012, 13, 14, men would be the ones studying, and women would be doing the work to support. So that there was that story and the narrative general amongst the growing Bhutanese community. So it's interesting
shift,
that
right?
there's this shift again in the narrative.
So do you also come across like doctors, like someone asking you, "Where's your husband working?" Something like that?
Not to me, because I always try to give that. I guess it's like sort of branding as well, but it's also my personality that I can do this alone, and I have done this alone all the time, and I have been doing this alone. Yes, other people can come and add on my qualities, add on my happiness, but baseline is me, and I always see like I want to be able to do this alone. And so everyone that know me knows that I have always been independent, and it's also very important for me personally to be independent, not like, "Oh, I don't need help from you," because I come seek support whenever I need it. But my mom is very, very big on having that independent, having that education, because they sacrificed a lot for our education so that we can gain this independence and get this freedom that they never got, because education is the only way to break through that class system or break through where you came from, because that's the only
Gender stereotypes.
as well as like even if you come from poor community, or if you're from a underrepresented marginalized community, education is the only shot that can maybe get you to another level. So my mom has been big on it, so that's why it was always very important for me to be independent and do this alone. So I'm really happy. It's very hard, but I'm really happy that so far it's been going well.
Okay, just since you're single and doctor is also single, the question is to both of you. Anybody can answer. It's not a question, but it's a general what do you call the ideas that I'm going to share, because there might be lots of students or international students wanting to come, alone, and they are not able to do it because they don't know if it is doable. So I just wanted to know, how you manage your, even doctor, how do you manage yourself? Because for me, it's pretty much easy, because I have my, if I have to lean on somebody else, I have someone else. My wife is always there. She supports me a lot. And being single, you don't have something like that. Support system is different than ours. You might have your friends and family, but it's different. So just wanted to know, how do you do this one, the thing of living alone. Yeah.
That can be a whole session in itself.
Do you want to go first?
You go first.
For me, I would say it's not an easy journey. Definitely, of course, like if you have someone to help, right? Like when you have a husband or a wife, your spouse, your significant other, like, of course, they help in financial as well, but then you also have the moral support. When you go back home, you have like someone to lean on to. That's a huge help sometimes, because it's a stressful life, and you need someone to, you know, constantly give you that reassurance. But also financially, like, because our biggest burden is tuition fees. So, like, if
True.
someone is working full time, the other person can also focus on studying and doing things. So, we don't have that privilege.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very determined to do this alone and get this done. So for me, how I manage, it's very hard. But yeah, so I always put out everything on my calendar. Like as soon as I start my semester, I already start checking notes, and if it's already added in Canvas, I see what are the requirements, how much time do I need, what are the things I need to do, and also put it out in calendar and see where are the rooms, where do I have that patch of time that I can do something else. So because I also put my work commitment everywhere, all of it fixed, and then just get out and just see overview on, like, okay, so in here maybe I can do some volunteering work, in here maybe I can do something for my career. So this is how I map out and try to manage, but it's definitely very difficult because sometimes you have to worry about, like, okay, especially doing casual jobs, right? You don't know how much you're gonna earn end of next 6 months. So it's very hard to map it and see, like, okay, do I need to get more shifts? Do I need to slow down because you can only work 24 hours? There are all of these things juggling at the same time. You're missing out on, like, some visa thing that you didn't hear, or so. Apart from that, but I had a really good support system, my friends, my family, and also people around. All the Bhutanese I have met until now, they have been very nice. They have been, even if it's as small as just a word of encouragement, or just saying, like, hey, you're doing really great. It's really difficult to do it alone, but you're doing it. Keep doing it. And this kind of things actually adds up, you know, and gives you that energy and that thing to keep striving for. But I would say, like, if someone is planning to come in future, that it's doable. Of course it's doable. It's going to be difficult. You need to come mentally prepared, because there are certain things, even if you think that you have a support system, you could lose it, maybe you could gain more, but you need to be open-minded and be open to meeting other people and knowing other people, and also trying to leverage that connection to thrive yourself in this situation. I think that's what has kept me going, and that's how I also built a new mentality that I'm going to be open to all the opportunities. I'm not going to restrict myself. So, for example, I'm not going to be like, I'm going to work in engineering fields or like project management fields. So just being open to any opportunities, and that's how the guild opportunity also came in, and I just said, it's scary, but I'm gonna do it, and let's see what it goes. Worst case scenario, I would be where I already started, which is okay. If not, I can achieve something bigger. So that's how I have been trying to go. But yeah, it has been a little bit difficult. I think this was the difficult part of my life, to be honest. Yeah, but it's worth living
compared to many experiences you've had so far, inside and outside.
Yeah.
I think what about you, Doctor?
I've been inviting and I've been wanting to hear Bema's version because I think our storylines, they're very different sets of responsibilities in a sense. So first I would say kudos to you. And I know I've had a cousin that I've really, really enjoyed watching the way she managed with discipline, finances, work and hours. She was in her early 20s doing her undergraduate, paying her way through. She and I would go shopping, and she would go, oh, do you need that Mitsubishi pen? You've already got one at home. That's 90 cents. And I go, oh, again, that's 90 cents. She go, yeah, it's 90 cents.
It adds up.
She was excellent. And you reminded me of her, that grit, that determination. And then I can see that persona as well, why you had to do it. And kudos, really, because I came in twice to Australia on scholarship. So I didn't have that responsibility, financial responsibility or burden. I had more freedom to explore being a student and other aspects of life, and I would even now, without any second thoughts, as I did many years ago, even a decade ago, that the space of being alone is far more nurturing. I thrive in it better than having to lean on
Somewhere
anything
else.
else.
Yeah.
And also, I think there's a part of me who also says that somebody who's in relationships or marriage like yourself, Sonam, you're very generous in holding a space for someone and then growing a family out of it. And I really have deep appreciation for that. I think I chose not to go there because I always wondered, can you do that? Yeah. So, yeah. So it's different, very different stories, but I suppose as you grow, Pema, I think there would be similar.
Yeah, but I also feel like people with family and their significant other also have their set of problems, like in a sense of like not problem, but like their sets of struggle, because for me, I don't have any family commitment. That's why I can do a lot of things that my other married couples, married friends cannot do it. Or like when they have their kids at home, you couldn't necessarily do things that we do, right? Like I could, during campaign time, I could just be in university until 11, just putting out posters, or like I could just decide to do something because in Australia I don't have any responsibilities, so I could really push myself and see if I can get there. Whereas, so I think it's like just different struggles, but all of us are, I guess, in this together.
Yeah, you have more avenues and time, opportunity to bridge, you know, links to an opportunity, or you know, to explore other parts of who you can be, which is what you seem to be doing, straight away into leadership positions.
That's what I'm trying.
That's really good. Like when you mentioned about running for the president. So what encouraged and what motivated you to do that one, and what are your plans? For the especially for the international student, what are your plans at ECU?
So I never thought about it. I wanted to be part of ECU council member because I didn't think that I would have enough time to commit to a presidency role, but I wanted to be part of ECU and in their decision making, so I wanted to be council, but because I would be graduating in certain month, I couldn't go for election, and someone came along and said, why don't we do a party and like we could run together, and that is what, it wasn't my plan, but like I've said, I am open to opportunities. It came along and I was like, yeah, let's do it, and we never started this because we wanted to win or we wanted to become the ruling party or that I wanted to become a leader. So we just tried to first get 15 people, which was very hard because volunteering roles, right? It's very hard to gather people. But we managed to get 15 people, and I always told them that it doesn't matter if you have experience or not, because I also don't know. But what is important is we are going to learn through this experience together. We can do this together, and we don't even have to know what we are going to do, because we know in our heart that all we want to do is bring fun back to university and help other students, share, network. So keeping that baseline, we will figure it out how to do it, and that's how we were able to gather 15 people. And it was just to participate in one of the events that was happening at ECU. But as we were doing election and as we were talking to other students while we were campaigning, we realized that there are so many similar struggles at the same time, different struggles. So different schools have different struggles, a different community has different struggle, but all of us were struggling in some ways or another. And not many of us were having fun at university, so then we got together even stronger, and we were like, let's do this, let's try to do this. And so it's not as interesting that I didn't dream of this, because we also had like, okay, who is going to choose what role? And I chose president because nobody chose that role. So that's how we started. So I didn't decide to do this, but if I am given an opportunity, if I decide to do something, if I'm committed to it, I do it with my full dedication. So that's what I'm gonna do. And our party's name was also Student Voice Senate, because we want to listen to them. We want to listen to all our international students. We don't want to assume that you have this struggle. that's why I don't promise anything that these are the things that we are going to do. So I want to listen to everyone. I want to see what are the different or the similar struggles. How can we help each other? How can we help ease that? And how can we make university fun again? Because it's, after all, learning, right? Learning and having fun. And this is a very important part of your life. But then we are losing so much of its essence in this whole, like,
Constraints.
Yeah, constraints and surviving, like, the theme. So yeah, and my dream is also to, like, bring all Bhutanese together. It's my personal project, not apart from being guilds. I've always wanted to bring all the Bhutanese together. And my only wish is that we stop just surviving and we focus more on thriving. Because if we come together, like, instead of just being like, okay, so let's pay the bills, let's do this, like, we could stop a little bit and maybe achieve bigger things, thrive together as a community. Yeah, so this is how I'm looking towards my future and towards our community, Bhutanese community, hopefully.
Wow. You reminded me of His Majesty's speech in Delhi. I think it was in Delhi. The title of that speech is Changing Times, Timeless Values. I loved it. I love all his speeches. And in that, he says leadership is offered to times. I think you step in because you're required to. So
Yeah, that was more of it. Yeah. And it was such a great time, great 3 days campaigning, because we just came together as a family from different background, and also they got to know about Bhutanese, because we were trying to target Bhutanese voters, because Bhutanese never participate at ECU, so that was also one of it. It was
So
really
unknown.
exciting, letting all the Bhutanese know, like, hey, this election, not necessarily vote for us, but more of like, hey, do you know that this is happening? Do you know that there are this kind of events? Because, for example, in guilds, we have free breakfast, free coffee place, but not many Bhutanese know about it. Or there are so many other services. So if you know about it, like, so if you are not academically good, you have so many learning advisors, librarians. You could, like, just get to that level that a university requires just by using these free services. It's actually not free, you're paying for it. So I think it's only fair that we use those services and better ourselves. Of course, there are other commitments, but we cannot forget our, like, I guess, bigger goal just because we are, like, doing other things. So I think we as a community, we are losing track of the essence and important things, because we are always trying to survive. Like, okay, let's pay the next bill. Let's, like, just. Are we trying to stop?
No.
Keep going. I think it's making sense. Yeah, so true.
Yeah. So I guess, like, to come together and to build a stronger, prosperous Bhutanese community. It doesn't have to be a formal one, but just coming together, helping each other, and if not helping, like, at least just admiring from far and not trying to pull each other down.
I'm hearing more as a community of students at ECU to begin with.
Right.
So that's what we are trying. We also have a Bhutanese club coming up.
Yes.
Super excited for this, because this is first a Bhutanese initiative, and I'm looking forward to see what they are gonna do. They have lots of exciting things, and I think that would encourage lots of Bhutanese students at ECU to maybe take up more roles like these ones, or like do maybe participate more, contribute more, engage more, be part of the community, because we have so much potential.
Yes. I know of two people. Sorry, I just jumped in.
No, that's all right.
Two people who took similar roles before you, and that's all I know of. No one's, because ECU's had Bhutanese students for years, even when I was in Curtin, 2007. Maximum students were with ECU, not with Curtin, but never into this leadership roles. I know my cousin stepped in the council role once, and then another student, she stepped into, I think, in the women's, I think you had some student with women's leadership, something.
Yeah.
And then she started working for ECU as well after her degree.
Yeah.
So everyone who's taken up this role, I've witnessed you really grow well into this position.
That's true. That's true. That's why I always tell everyone to take up opportunities. It starts as like maybe like a little bit of volunteering work sometimes, and most of the times unpaid, but. Even if you're just a club president or as doing something, just participating in it has given lots of opportunities, and you can see other Bhutanese as well getting like office job or industry related job because they have interned or volunteered. So I think this, I hope that most of Bhutanese would be encouraged to take up more roles like this so that we can have more seats on the table, so that we can serve other Bhutanese as well as, not just Bhutanese, of course other international students as well, but we as a Bhutanese, we need to take care and support each other because we have no other, this is the closest kinship we will get, and I think it is very important for us to come together, use each other's strength and try to help each other in their weaknesses so that we can thrive together. So this has been my mantra and my dream coming to Australia, because as I was telling you before we started this, that I was very disappointed when I came here because I thought it would be a thriving Bhutanese Chinatown, you know.
Not yet.
Everywhere you go,
I think it's changing now because when I came in 2014, we were like, we all wanted to go back. Okay. That's the mindset we had, because we want to come here, study, make some money, and go back. But now people are, they come with a different set of mind. They want to learn and also gain some experience here, stay back, get some experience, and then go and contribute to our country. But it's changing now. So maybe because of that one, like yourself, and also in our previous episode we had, the Greece president from Murdoch. So say now it's changing, because during our time we never used to think about that, we just want to make money, make some, work, go back, make some money and go back. But then since it's, there's a shift in the mindset of people, that the cohort of people coming from Bhutan is totally different from what we were. So I think they should follow your guys' footsteps and then step into such volunteering. Volunteering is something like, no, doctor, like I said in the previous episode, like people get job through that one, and doctor also mentioned that one.
Interns and volunteering.
Yeah, that's true, because even though if we were professionals in our country, I am, and like let alone my Bhutanese degree, right? Like my European degree as well, it's not recognized here because it's the same thing. Like so, it has to be. Even if I worked in Nokia and BNP Paribas, but when I came here, it doesn't translate the same value, because it's not the local experience, and especially in Australia, they really value local experience. Like, did you work with a local team? Do you know how to communicate with them? Do you know their work culture? So, if you cannot get a paid job, getting unpaid, like volunteering or internship, this kind of thing is easy, like low standard, low bar to get in. And once you have that local experience, even if it's not paid, when they look at your volunteering role, they're gonna be like, hey, this person knows how to work here. This person knows our work culture, that knows how to communicate because has already worked. And also he has more personality, right? Like not just about money, but and greed. Also has like volunteers, and like so especially in Australia, they really value volunteering roles, and also like if you have volunteered, you have higher chances of getting hired. So I would encourage all the Bhutanese, if you are wanting to get into your fields, or like if you are wanting to change your career or look into jobs, doesn't matter what kind of job it is, every level, you can always use your volunteering role. So I think it's really nice to let everyone know about it. And it's a good gateway to get into local experiences.
I also wanted to add another important, significant learning and way of being for the Bhutanese. I think it goes alongside what you said about we all as we came here as a homogeneous group in a way from Bhutan, and then we're trying to survive. And as we are trying to become more visible, become more representative of who we can be, and lift others that we know within our community, we also have to ensure that for us to be enabled to do that, we need to appreciate the diversity around us instead of closing off and just becoming the inner group. Because I think this inner group is very problematic. I think in Australia or anywhere in the world, you don't grow. And in the classes that I teach where I have Bhutanese, I often notice like there would be about 30 students and there might be 3 Bhutanese, and all they do is talk in Dzongkha. There is the rest of them sitting with them, and I go, no, can you try not to do that? Because you're making the others outsider straight away as you do that. So being very aware of these and sensitive of these ways of being, so that our values of respect and generosity are extended.
Exactly. Like when I say we need to support each other, it's just to enhance your being here, like to make it easier for you. So the closest network you can get is from your community. Get that strength at the same time, not closing off, because the main network is outside. But it's easier to just do it with a partner or do it with a friend and network. And I think trying to channel all the positive values and also support from our community, our friends and family, at the same time leveraging other network, I think we can do some magic. Yeah, hopefully. But you're really, that's a good point, because I've also noticed that whenever we ask our Bhutanese students to speak in English, they'll just close off and just like not speak at all. And sometimes it even I know that it's because they're shy, but it come off as being very rude and not insensitive to other cultures and other people around. It's true. That's true.
I think it's not only in the classroom settings, even at the workplace. There's there are lots of that there is policy. You speak a universal language, but sometimes when we meet with witness, naturally it comes out. And then even in the workplaces, I have seen like lots of issues raised due to that one. So I think we should be mindful, because it is multicultural, the place that we are living in, and then we should be mindful of, because this is our mindful podcast, so you have to be mindful of everyone.
I think it's a very hard thing to balance, because when you speak in English, right, when you meet another Bhutanese and try to speak in English, then they tell you like, pata judi, that is zonghela mitube, other inkiana me. So, or like I used to get this a lot. Chu Europe na deni diki me. That like now see, like she doesn't even speak in Dzongkha. So it's like it's hard to balance. It's very so how do you want to come off, right? Sometimes you have to judge the situation and
I think be intentional. So if I meet you at Garanap shopping, so now I'm going to be you. But when you're in a work setting,
and
learning setting, being very aware and mindful and sensitive to everyone around, to not close them off. That's true. I think it's a learning, because I think in time I'm hoping we can all get there, but it's a learning.
Definitely. This is what we are trying to do as a Murdoch Guild, Bhutanese, ECU guilds, in future, that we want to not just Bhutanese students, but all international students, like when they come in here, like how do you adapt to this culture, right? Everything is different, because in here, for a Bhutanese, being humble is ultimate virtue, but you will not get anywhere being humble here. It might look like humble bragging when you're like being humble, and they might actually think that you're stupid, or like that you cannot do tasks. But so like balancing all these kind of things to also at the same time, as a student, like if you have only studied in India or Bhutan, you have different academic standards, different expectations, or like in here, it's less of classrooms, more of your learning. It's more about empowering yourself, and how do you do that? So we want to help new students coming in, at the same time our current students who are struggling. So I think that's really good point.
Many, I think many layers.
Exactly.
Many layers. What has been some of the highlights of your experience in Australia so far?
Oh, I guess this one. First of all, thank you so much. Never thought I would be doing a podcast, but and I have always been in academic, but I have never been. I've never been recognized this way because when I was studying, everyone was studying as well, so we were all like average. But in coming to Australia, my academic skills, like I actually got to hone it more, and also because people are looking up to me and they would ask questions, and that actually makes me prepare more, and that has been a really nice journey to finally share that I also have this kind of skills and talent, because if you know my close ones, they're always super annoyed with me because I'm super clumsy and slow with like physical thing, but I never get to show them what I'm good at. So like as simple as writing a resume or doing their report, you know, when they see the finished product, they're like, oh, that's nice. So these are the kind of things. So it has also been a nice journey, I guess, a highlight to show that I'm slow and clumsy, but you know, in my field, I'm okay. And this might it's not relevant, but I was really shocked that people walk barefoot here. That was a cultural experience, cultural shock for me, like seeing everyone walk barefoot, and also seeing that there are more immigrants around than local people. Like when you're walking around, it's very hard to see someone from here, from Perth. They're so rare. So those kind of things, were like sort of highlight, I guess, for me. And I enjoyed every bit of it, as difficult as it was. But putting myself through these challenges and all of this made me grow so much in such a short period of time. So yeah, the whole struggle and learning and growing myself, like personal development, has been the biggest highlight of my journey here in Australia.
So apart from you know, your study and also the role as a president, you are also working at ACU as a student counselor.
So I have like 4 jobs at ECU, all casual. So first I started as a concierge at Student Hub, and I also work as an orientation assistant for orientations. It's just 1 week work, and I also work as a student transition assistant, where we do Are You Okay Day or Wear It Purple Day, so those kind of things when they need someone to hand out coffee vouchers or international cafe events. So I also work there, and recently I've also started working as a career officer at ECU, career admin officer.
See, that's one service none of us, most of us don't use. It's a go-to service, the career line.
If there's any viewer who are looking to change career or want to enhance their resume, or are looking for job, interview skills, selection criteria, everything about career, ECU has all the services. I just do like a document review, like resume, LinkedIn, and cover letter, but there's whole chain of services that everyone can avail and make themselves, you know, better employable, and also gain other skills and improve your credentials. So please use the services that you're paid for.
I might send my CV to you.
Please. And when you send
are you planning to change your career?
No, I just thought I haven't got anyone to look at it for the
Bro,
last
it's really
decade.
good.
Same with me. My question, because I asked that one, because I wanted to ask, you know, is there, you know, international students other than, you know, Bhutanese, I mean like mostly Bhutanese, are they coming to get such services?
To be honest, there are not. There are 0 Bhutanese. There was one last week, but it was only because I always tell them to come. Only one of them came on his own, but the rest of them, because I told them, okay, there are these services, you must use it. But even then, they always say they don't have time, but you don't have to go there in person. You can always send an email. All you need to do is send your resume, send what job you're going to apply, because in Australia you must tailor your resume to every job you're applying. Of course, you will have your baseline, you'd have your curriculum vitae with all the information, but whenever you're applying for a job, you need to check what are they looking for, what are the keywords, and then tailor it to that. And every time you apply your job, you have to tailor. So you'll need to send a job description or the job advert so that you can match. But most importantly, at ECU, they always empower you to be able to do this again and again, because you cannot come there. I'm not going to review every time, right? That would make all of us like just useless. But it's more of like empowering our students, but at the same time showing it like how to do it, and maybe have higher chances of landing into interviews. Yeah, and also how to, they also do career success plans. So for example, if I want to maybe do a PhD and have this career, and I'm here right now, what path do I take? So they also help you guide through that, and what kind of volunteering or what kind of traineeship or what kind of certification and licenses do I need to do to get there? So there are so many avenues of support and help you can get. And I think every one of us should use it, because that's how I also got job at ECU. I did my first review with them, checked in there. I go to all the events because there's not many Bhutanese working at ECU. There's not many things that I can just go and ask. So I would just attend all the events and try to extract all the worth out of my tuition fee. So I would eat every free pizzas they give, every free events, every career event, so that I can really make the best out of my time at ECU, and also try to get all the opportunities. For example, there are so many, recently we did Jundurup Innovation Challenge, and it's really nice opportunity because I got to meet some of the best mentors, try to work in a team, and I can use this experience in my resume saying that we did this, we already worked in a team, right? Because I am seeking leadership roles, so we also had some public speaking practice. So it helps you grow, at the same time gives you that network, and also prepares you for future job. And it's really good opportunities there. So I think if we just keep availing them.
What do you think some of the reasons why people are not utilizing those resources? And do you think like the ECU, as a institution, do they have to do more of a, what do you call it, they reach out to international students to use those services? What do you think is why people are not using those services?
I think ECU does enough advertisement, and also they let you know in orientation in the classroom. Our professor always let us know about all the services. Academy, you do that as well, right? So, but I think it's first of all not having a peer or someone to like give that advice or say that there, because that kind of marketing I think works better, or like that kind of support. So, and also not having that many role models or like that many people doing those things. So it's uncharted water, and Bhutanese are very scared about like exploring unknown. They would rather be in a known problem than look for an unknown struggle. So I think that's another one. And I think we really need to care a little bit more. I think our Bhutanese students are as a Kajang believable, because like we don't check our emails, we even if we say there are this kind of thing, they don't care because our priorities are very different. And I think it's also because we have so many wrong advices going around our community, and it's very hard to convince them otherwise that like there are these kind of opportunities. And also it's the fear, because every time we are here, like we are always made to feel that okay, you're not as same as them, or like you don't have the same capabilities, or we never worked in this kind of settings, or some of people have never used like 2 screens and they don't know how to navigate this. So I think if like going back to saying community support, so when I say we come together, these are the things we can help help each other with, like, if you are going to this job, like, if you don't know about it, like, we take them to the office and say, like, okay, there are this HDMI cable you need to connect to this, and like this kind of, so I think that's also another fear that's stopping them from trying to get the other to other side. And generally, I think it's because of the priorities, because we are doing the other jobs that pay our bills and also have other commitments, family, right? And also family back home, and at the same time doing assignments, trying to care about everything. So I think that's all in all, like, our priorities, and also not having that what do you say, like the backup, or like that support, that like something to leverage and have that to absorb that shock, you know. Like, if for example, if I want to do a internship, for example, unpaid internship, but I cannot afford to do it. Like, what if our community, each other helps, right? Like, it's just 1 hour a week. But if someone helps it, I can go get that experience, improve my career, and then even help my community or other people. So those kind of like little support, I think, if we give to our students and also other people here, all the students, international students as well. So if we support each other this way, I think we have a bigger opportunity to grow.
Like when you say internship, recently I posted one internship opportunity, right? And I could see, there are 200 of them in that group. Only few came up. And then also, when I said it's a unpaid internship, then they're a little bit,
disappointed, right?
So I think like internship is one thing that you can get into, your field later on. So these are the things, something, we should take as an opportunity. I think our time is up. We could talk a lot, but we have a time constraint, and so it's really nice, hearing all those things. And then I think you are one of the person to look up to for the international students, and not just Bhutanese, but all the international students, because you're single, and you're taking all the opportunities that you could, and also you're being really focused on what you want to be, and then what you are doing. That's really good, and I see like you could do a lot, not just to Bhutanese alone, but also to others, to inspire them. It's really good to see our Bhutanese thriving. Like that lah.
Thank you so much.
Rise into the leadership roles.
Likewise, like it's very nice to see all Bhutanese initiatives, and I really thank you for inviting me, and also giving me that space and opportunity. And just to conclude, I want to say that yes, I'm here alone. I'm doing this on my own, but it wouldn't be possible without all the supports and with all the help from my friends, family, strangers that I meet, and also the luck component. If it was just based on on my talents and skills, there are better people than me as well. So sometimes it's just being on right place, right time, right? So I thank everyone who has been part of my journey and who has always wished well for me, and also people who have challenged me. And so everyone who has made this possible, I want to thank everyone, and also both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's, so it's episode 10,
10, and then our final
season
episode,
1, and with that, Tashidile and Kadinche to everyone, to you and to everyone as well.
Yes, and then if time permits, we might come up with a second season, but we will look into it. Doctor, I'll be available, but we have to check with Doctor. And then if we think this is helping, the international students, not just international students, but also all the migrants here. So we will come up with another episode, another season. But as of now, thank you so much for regularly watching our episode. And there are lots of people who have been constantly giving us feedback. Thank you to them as well. And we'd like to thank the behind the camera, our technical person, the Chimidoji. He have been here with us, but we have not been able to, thank him for the past 9 episodes. Thank you so much, Shimi, and yeah, we would, if this is really helping anyone, why not we will do a second season?
Yeah.
And till then, thank you so much, and have a good, learn and earn, but also be mindful around. And this is Sonam signing off the first season of our Mindful Journey, Caring for International Students. Thank you so much.